Hello everybody, welcome to a new grain. I'm so excited about today's video. I promised you guys last week that today's video was going to be special, and I hope I have done justice to that because I enjoyed making it and it was just like fresh new ground for me. A lot of new stuff that I've never done before I did here, and I hope you enjoy it. So today I'm going to be sharing how I made this Ribena flavored ice cream. Who doesn't love ice cream? I read somewhere that ice cream solves everything. I absolutely love ice cream. I do. And guess what? Tomorrow, the 21st of June, is the first day of summer in Canada. By the way, I make videos from the province of Alberta in Canada, and my name is Anu. Welcome to my channel. And yes, we hit 100 subscribers, so thank you to everybody that has subscribed, that watches my videos. I really appreciate every one of you. So the first thing that I did, it was to kind of cool my bowl and the whisks of my mixer, just so that, you know, this was like the second time I was making it. I didn't want to do anything wrong, and because we're not using an ice cream machine, I just wanted my medium to be cold. So I used condensed milk, which is what I'm showing you here. This is the brand that I used. I got this from Superstore if you live in Canada, and you just want the sweetened condensed milk. You don't need sugar for this recipe. We're just using 3 ingredients, and I'll leave the list in the description box below. And then we need Ribena, good old Ribena. Can you guys remember Ribena? If you're Nigerian, you should remember Ribena. And then I used whipping cream. It is essential that you get whipping cream or heavy cream or full fat cream. Don't use table cream. Table cream will not work. I wasted my money on table cream and it didn't work. So ensure that you get whipping cream. So those are the 3 things that we will be using. And now I have emptied the ice bath in my bowl, and I'm just pouring in about 2 cups of the whipping cream. So 2 cups of whipping cream, and then I'll be whisking or mixing with my mixer until it gets fluffy. So another thing that's important here is for you to use cold cream. Ensure that your cream is cold, and you just have to whip for about 5 minutes until you achieve a stiff peak like you see, and it takes about 5 to 7 minutes. Like I said, for me it didn't take too long because my bowl was cool, the whiskers were cool, and you know, everything was just very fast, and I enjoyed making my own ice cream in my kitchen. So I'm going to add half a cup of sweetened condensed milk. With half a cup, this ice cream was pretty sweet. Some people would add 1 full cup, but I'm adding just half a cup to 2 cups of cream like I showed you earlier, and it was just perfect. It was just perfect. So I'm adding the condensed milk into this, and I'm just going to fold it. We're not going to mix it entirely, just fold it in, and look at how smooth this ice cream is. I mean, at this stage you can just make it whatever you like. You can add Oreos, add nuts, add whatever flavor you like. You can just be creative. Actually, this is ice cream, and when I tasted it at this stage, I'm like, what in the world have I been doing? So I'm just gonna add a 1/4 cup of Ribena. So this bowl is calibrated as 1 cup, so I did half of half, which is 1/4. So 1/4 cup of Ribena. And like I said, Ribena is a drink that I always have in my fridge. Instead of buying pop or juice, I just buy Ribena from Superstore if you live in Canada, and we literally do like 2 bottles of Ribena in a month, and we make drinks from it. Just like a few drops in your cup, add water, and it's the perfect drink. So I added a 1/4 cup of Ribena to my ice cream, and we're not going to mix it entirely. I just kind of folded that into because I wanted swirls. And as I'm pouring it into my baking tray now, or my bread pan, it is you can kind of see the Ribena because I didn't mix it very well, and that was intentional. Like I said, I wanted kind of like a swirl design. I was feeling pretty creative with this ice cream. So yes, and it was just I really enjoyed making it, and it was delicious. Trust me, it was very delicious. I told you guys I was feeling creative with this ice cream, so look at me using the spatula to make designs. I was just very happy with this ice cream. So I covered it with foil and put it in the freezer overnight. After 6 hours it should be fine, but I just left it overnight. So right now I'm gonna tell you guys a story. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Hello. So I have been thinking of the best way to do this. You remember the beans and corn sauce video that I put out a few weeks ago? I asked you guys if you wanted me to share stories, and I've been thinking of the best way to do it, to do this, and I figured that this is the best way, or the way that I think I want to start doing this. And it just so worked out that we reached 100 subscribers on YouTube. Yay! Thank you all so much for subscribing, for all of you 100 and counting that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you for your support. God bless you. And so I figured that, you know, instead of just sharing the Bible verses that I always put in the middle of my videos, I would kind of share stories and then back it up with scriptures as usual. So we're not going to make this too long, and the first story that I'm going to share with you is what happened to me when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I remember I was in primary 5. I went to 2 primary schools. The first one was Grace Children's School in Bagada, and the second one was Yaba College of Technology Staff School. So if you went to any of those schools, please let me know. I for some reason I'm not in touch with many of my primary school mates. I think maybe just a couple, and I kind of remember them. I miss them actually. So if you went to Grace or you went to Yaba Tech Staff School, please let me know. Send me a message in the comment section. I'd really like to reconnect with you. So this happened when I was in Yaba Tech Staff School, and I was in primary 5. So there was a company that came to the school, and they were looking for two kids that would do an advert for them. So they picked myself and a boy. Thank God for good genes. I like to think that I have good genes, thank God, and thanks to my parents as well. So they picked myself and that boy for some reason. So they took us home. Well, they took me home to get me dressed up and do my hair and everything. And I remember that as I was going, while those people that came to pick me from the company in school, as we were going to my house to get me ready, I remember that my aunt, my mom's sister, saw me and she was scared. She was like, oh, maybe these are kidnappers. For information, that was pretty rampant in Nigeria at that time, and even now. So she followed me home and made sure that those people that came to take me from my school weren't kidnappers. So we went home, and then my mom got me dressed up, gave me good clothes to wear. I changed from my school uniform to like party or church clothes. So we went, and so the people from the company took me to their company, myself and that boy, and then we waited, and it looked, if I remember correctly now, it looked as if there were few people that were auditioning for that Advert role. So myself and that boy, we sat a little before they called us. So when they called me in, they called us in separately. They called me in, and after a while they told us to go outside back again too, and then somebody came to tell me that, oh, we're not going to be able to use you for the Advert because the MD CEO noticed that you have a stitch on your head, and so because of that we won't be able to use you for the Advert. Remember, I was like 8 or 9 years old, maybe 8, 9 or 10, I can't remember. But just imagine telling a young girl of that age range that, oh, you're going to be used for an Advert, let's go, and then all of a sudden they tell you, oh, you have a stitch on your head, and because of that we're not going to use you for the Advert. You can just imagine, thinking of it in retrospect now, I can't really remember what emotions were going through me as a little girl then, but I know that I was not happy for sure. Nobody will be happy to hear that. But the lady that was supposed to take me home, she so in the bus, she was taking me home in public transport. So in the bus, as we were going, she probably noticed that I wasn't happy. So she told me something, and she said that she was going to read something to me from the Bible. And she read from the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 9, and I'm just going to look at my phone here so that I don't misquote. From the King James Version, it says, "But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." And I remember that from that day, it was like that was the first scripture ever that I've ever heard in my life. Until today, I can never forget what happened to me on that day because of this scripture. And you know, sometimes, especially with everything that's been going on right now, I just feel like some things happen to us as children, as people, so that purpose can be birthed out of those challenges, which is what I am trying to I'm hoping to do with the stories that I am going to be telling you over the next few weeks. I have a long list of stories, so if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you know when the next recipe and story drops. I have a long list, and once we exhaust all those stories that are ripe for sharing, because not every story is ripe for sharing yet, once we exhaust all those of my personal stories that are ripe for sharing, then we'll think of something else to do. Maybe we'll feature somebody, feature maybe my husband, feature somebody that wants to share. You know, would cross that bridge when we get there. But this is how I said, this is the first story, you know, of when I was a little girl and I was picked for an Advert role, but I was eventually told that I wasn't picked because of the stitch on my head. For those of you that are close to me, if you know me, you know that I have this stitch on my head, and it came when I hit my head on a sliding door when I was little, and they stitched it. But right now it's kind of fading away. You hardly notice it, but it is there. But anyway, the moral of this story is that it's the Bible verse which I just shared in 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 9 that says, despite whatever has happened to you, you are a chosen generation. No matter what anyone has told you, you're a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar person, someone that God has called out of darkness into his marvelous light so that you can show forth his praises. I'm so happy that some things have happened to me in life. And yeah, thank you for listening to my story. I don't want to make it too long. Let's go and check on the ice cream. It should be set by now. Actually, this is the next day. I left it to set overnight, although I was a little impatient, but let's go and check on it. See you next week. So guys, I kept checking my ice cream the day before because I was so impatient, but this is the day after, so it was pretty frozen, and I had to change my ice cream scoop to another one that would help me. Guys, I have like 3 or 4 ice cream scoops. That's how much I love ice cream. So that was the one that worked eventually because it was pretty frozen, but it was nice. Look at the ice cream, creamy ice cream. So I really like you guys to try it, this Ribena flavored ice cream, and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video next week. Bye.